Hi folks, welcome to another video. This week I am showing you how I make sheets of resin with images on them. Sometimes I turn them into light boxes, or as in this case I'm just layering the sheets up in a frame. So to get the images on them, what I first do is print the image onto tissue paper, and if it's a small box I leave it that size. If it's any bigger I will then transfer one image onto a bigger sheet of tissue paper. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to transfer this tui onto a bigger piece of tissue. Sorry about that. Camera's wonky. Can't be helped. Okay, so I have printed it onto a piece of tissue because I found that works best transferring onto another piece of tissue. I have got the ko-fi underneath it for placement. So I'm going to put him now remove that one. So I've just got a piece of MDF under here, a piece of wood that no oil is going to come out of. So MDF being manufactured, it's only pretty much glue and wood chip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be pressing quite hard. So you can see as I'm pressing, you can see it's going darker. That's when I can tell that the ink has left one page and gone to the other. Move this so you can actually see when I'm pulling it up. So the reason this works with a laser printer is the ink is heat set onto the page. So what I'm essentially doing is doing the reverse to get it off. So I'm letting the iron slip away. I hope you can't see that. No, you should be able to. Oh, you can. There you go. So you can see how it's transferring quite nicely. So I'm just gonna this will make the top piece of tissue go a little bit brown, but it won't should not affect the bottom one. So when it comes to releasing, don't try and pull it as well as move the iron. So what I'm doing is I'm letting the iron heat the ink up, and then I'm just going to pull the paper gently and move the iron at the same time, because otherwise if you don't do that you'll see how it's stuck here. Yeah, just make sure you can see. So see how it's stuck there? If I turn this round and see how I'm gently pulling the top layer of the tissue, and it's coming away, and you can also see how it hasn't taken there where I haven't pushed down. Right, that is a beautiful transfer. Very happy with that. And this is still reasonably good. I could even use that for something else. So let's see how my placement was. Ko-Fi will be at the back. I might do it again because it's not as good as I hoped. Guess I'm actually not going to see. But yeah, no, that's going to be cool. Very happy. So you could be asking why I'm bothering to transfer something like that. One, I don't have a A3 printer in order to print straight onto that size tissue. And two, I can't draw. So I've had to find other means of getting the image that I want to on the paper. I could, I guess, trace it and do all that kind of thing over a light box, and I might try that one day, but I've always been fascinated with image transfer, and this is just another way I found of how to do it. With all the sheets laid out, I have left space between them so you can see that I can get in there and pick them up and peel them off. I will show you roughly how I do that later in the video, but as I forgot to film it, it's just an example, but it does show you, and it will be enough for you to understand how to do it very easily. So with that said, I'm now adding the resin layer, first layer of resin. I do add 2 layers, but anyway, we'll do the first layer first. So I will put the resin down underneath. I just find that then I don't get air bubbles in it, and it's just a smoother process. And then once the resin is underneath, I will then put the print on top and go about rubbing the resin actually into the print, into the tissue paper, so again I don't get air bubbles, and it's all completely covered. You can get most of the wrinkles out when smoothing in the resin onto the paper, but if your surface underneath, like I show you in a later part of the video on the Ko-Fi flower, if the surface underneath the plastic is wrinkled in any way, this will make the top layer wrinkle as well. So it really does pay to have a very clean and wrinkle or dent or anything free plastic layer underneath. These sheets I just use for this purpose, and I try and clean them off each time because you don't want any hard resin stuck to the paper. So now I've resined them all, and you can see how the paper's gone very translucent and clear, and you can see the image quite clearly. The blank sheets are for in between layers where I'm going to add some colour. This one here is going to be all wrinkly because the plastic underneath has had a heat added to it at some stage, and it's kind of buckled the plastic, so you can see the circle in the middle where it's pushing out, so that will more than likely stay in there, which is a bit of a bugger, but I guess that's rock and roll. So yeah, when this resin is 90% dry, maybe 70, when it's not too tacky, I will add another layer, because this won't pull off the plastic with just one layer, and I will, after I've added the other layer and that is completely dry, maybe a day or so down the track, because it will start to rip, and I really don't want to rip any of the big ones, especially I haven't got the bleed room. But yeah, we'll see whether I add 2 or 3 layers to this lot. So when you're peeling this off the plastic, this has already been peeled off, but what you're doing is you're picking up the edge of it. This has been trimmed, so the edge will actually look like that. It'll have rough bits on it. Just trying to, see that? So what you're going to do is pull it back. You might have to get your hand in under here. It won't be like this at all. It'll be quite soft and bendy, so you will have to be a little bit careful, but you're just running your hand in to loosen it, to get enough to pull it up. You might have to go, all 3 sides first, but yeah, it's easily done. Sometimes if it's just fresh resin, that's why I leave it a couple of days before I actually pull it up off the plastic. Yeah, so this is the frame this piece is going into. It's handmade from old architraving, I think it is, and I've just sanded it back. So you can see a lot of little dots here. So what these dots are, they've got a magnet into the wood and a magnet sitting on top for a spacer. So essentially what I'm doing is, this is the back resin sheet, which has got the Ko-Fi flower on it that the Tuis absolutely adore. Magnets, here we go. So next is the colour sheet, and I think so this is just alcohol inks that I put on there. So then it's that way. So then I've put some colour on the tip of the magnet. That matches the, so you can see it's just pulling it. It down and attaching it, holding it in place really. Whoops. Can't see where they are now. That's alright, doesn't matter. So I hope you found this interesting today. Thank you for watching, and if you've got any questions, feel free to ask away in the comments, and a like and a subscribe would be really appreciated. Thank you.